Getting to Know You, a weekly series highlighting the teachers and staff of the Salem School District. And now your host, Assistant Superintendent of Salem Schools, Maura Palmer.
Welcome to another episode of Getting to Know You. I'm here today with Sarah McCready. Sarah is a teacher at Woodbury Middle School. She is a 6th grade teacher. So welcome, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself how long have you been at Woodbury? What do you teach?
Right, so I currently teach 6th grade language arts in reading. I've been teaching at Woodbury for 15 years.
15 years.
I taught 7th grade for 10 years, and this is my 5th year teaching 6th grade.
Do you find that there's a difference between 6th grade and 7th grade?
I think there's actually a pretty big difference. 6th grade, when they're coming in to us from elementary school, they're really nervous and they aren't really quite sure what to expect. And this time of year, they're starting to get more comfortable and settling in. But I think it takes a little while to get used to Woodbury life.
Do you feel that when the students come into middle school, they're ready to be in middle school? I know sometimes the 5th grade parents get nervous that they're going from the small elementary school to the big middle school, but from your end, do you feel like they're ready?
I think for some kids it takes a little bit of time just to get used to what school is like there, but we have move-up day in June and we have an orientation day at the end of August, and just to get comfortable and get to see the new faces. So it takes a little bit of time, but I think once they're in, they feel pretty comfortable. And a lot of them having multiple teachers instead of just one, which is different than elementary school. So I think a lot of them like that.
Traveling around the building during the day and that sort of thing.
Some good
a lot more
movement.
Independence. Yeah.
Independence and movement breaks.
For sure.
That's good.
So Sarah, you grew up in Salem.
Yes.
And which elementary school did you go to?
I went to North Salem Elementary School.
And then Woodbury.
Yep.
And Salem High graduate.
I am.
So how does it feel to be teaching in the district where you attended school and lived?
I think it's awesome. I think it's really fun being able to call my old teachers by their first names. I think that's funny. I love it. I really have this sense of Salem pride, I think just because I went through the school district, and I really like it. It just feels comfortable. It feels like home. And I really love, it's just some things just don't change. And I think that's really comforting to me, and I think Salem's a great place. So I really love it. I love it.
And your mom was a teacher in the
Yes.
district for how many years?
I think it was 20.
And she was a teacher at?
She taught at Lancaster for 20 years.
Tell us your mom's name.
Her name is Linda Mealy, and she loved teaching 4th grade at Lancaster.
Did she always teach at Lancaster?
She did a few years teaching remedial reading over at Fisk.
Okay, so you never had her as a teacher
I
then.
did not have her as a teacher. That would be fun.
That would be fun, for sure. So how about your personal interest? Excuse me. What are some things you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, well, I have 2 children, and we love spending time together, and I have a husband. And we love doing things outdoors. We're big outdoors people, so we love camping and hiking and skiing. And this winter, we're getting the whole family on skis, so we're enjoying doing that. So anything outdoors. I really like reading when I have the chance.
Your children are how old, Sarah?
My son is 6.5, and my daughter is 3.5.
Okay. So your son's in 1st grade?
He's in 1st grade and in preschool. So we're busy, but it's really fun.
For sure, busy time. So what are you most proud of about your classroom and your teaching?
All right. In my classroom, something that I'm really proud of is I feel like it's a place where kids feel comfortable being themselves. I spend a lot of time helping kids to just open up, and we do a lot of personal writing, and I just think if you don't feel comfortable in a situation, you're not going to be willing to open up and take a risk with your writing. So I feel like it's a good working environment. I like being in there. I like to think that my students feel comfortable and are happy being themselves in there.
For sure. So what drew you to teaching language arts? Do you like to write yourself? Is that something that brought you to teaching?
I do like writing myself. I found that when I got my master's degree, I did the most writing recently. I did a lot of personal writing, which I found I really like. And I do some journal writing on my own, but since I've had kids, I haven't had as much time.
Sure.
But I really do love it.
And so just the teaching English, teaching reading, just all of it was what was interesting to you?
I've always loved reading, and it's really nice that we can talk about the kids can write about their reading, so I really like that as well. Yeah, I've just always enjoyed language arts in general. I remember even when I was at Woodbury, I had one of my stories published in the school newspaper, and that was really cool. So I've always loved that.
And is there a teacher you remember fondly from your time in the Salem School District?
I loved I really loved school growing up. One teacher I remember is Mr. Slobig. I had him as a high school English teacher, and I've actually emailed him recently to tell him how I loved having him as a teacher.
Oh, that's nice.
Even I played field hockey. I was in the field hockey team, and I'll never forget, he came to one of our away games, which I thought was just really awesome. So that's something I always try and do, is try and make it just even to a game or a couple of games, because I think it means a lot to the kids. So
I remember that you were a field hockey player. I also, from the time when I was at Woodbury, when I was principal there and you were teaching, I remember you being very involved with the teacher bowling league. That's going back, right? So is that something that the teachers still participate in?
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not really with the younger crew anymore, but
Do you remember
we
you
did get
got
a trophy.
and you were in the newspaper?
I think we got third place. My son was actually asking me about, we went bowling recently, and he asked me if I had the trophy, and I have to try and dig it out of the attic. But that was really fun. We should probably bring that back.
It was great for morale and camaraderie and
That was
all
a
of
good
that.
memory.
Yeah, I do. I remember that clearly. So what about teaching in the Salem School District? What do you love the most about it?
One thing I love about the Salem School District, I would have to say, is a sense of community. I mean, I'm proud to be from Salem, and I think there's a lot of support from coworkers. There's a lot of support from the administration, parents. I feel like are really supportive and on the same page as us, and it's just it's a great community. And that's probably my favorite part about working in Salem.
And you mentioned your master's degree. So where did you go to school after Salem High?
I got my undergrad at Keene State, and I got my master's degree at UNH.
Okay.
They have this
And
cool
your
summer
husband's
program.
a teacher as well, correct?
My husband is a teacher. He also teaches 8th grade language arts in a different school district.
So that must be interesting.
We talk a lot. We actually share a lot of assignments and
Yeah, scoring
we give
papers together and that kind of thing.
It's nice because we can give each other feedback,
Sure.
and you can't say you don't know what I mean, because I do. I get what he
Right.
means. Yeah, we do the similar things, so it's actually really nice.
So what do you hope your students will remember you for, or how will they remember you?
I hope that my students remember me as being someone who's kind and patient, because it's something I really work on, and something I hope for them is that they become kind, considerate people who think of other people's feelings. I want them to remember me as helping them feel more confident in their reading skills, more confident in their writing skills. I'm not looking for straight A students. I just want kids to try their hardest and know that every day I give them a fresh start. I give them a clean slate every day. Meet kids where they're at, and I just want them to remember my class as being a welcoming place for them.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure chatting with you, Sarah. So thank you very much for joining me this afternoon.
Well, thank you for having me.
And to all of you, thank you very much for joining us today.
This has been a Salem School District Media Services presentation. Watch this and all SSD media programs anytime on any device at ssdtv6.com. For Salem School District Television, I'm Marty McHugh.